Sharala. Before we get started, we don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barkaha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to all for elect. Back another video, another lesson. All right. And the title was going to be a response to our article. Okay, but I shortened the title a little bit. It says UK names weather control program. Okay, in quote Satan. All right. This one come from the article on End Time Headlines. The People's Voice. It says UK names weather control program Satan. All right, chemtrails no longer a conspiracy. All right, theory. Okay, if you don't know what chemtrails are, if I can pull it up real quick. All right, chemtrails. They say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's not. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. All right, they spray these chemicals in the air to block out, the sun, right? But it says the chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief. They try to use, Esau try to use these words, to debunk these if you want to say these things that people are, saying on the internet. But it says erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually, and quote, chemtrails consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. All right, we can open it more. It says the chemtrail conspiracy theory is the belief, right, that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft, okay, are actually chemtrails consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. Believers in this conspiracy say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. It says those who subscribe to the theory speculate that the purpose of chemical release may be solar radiation management, weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare. You can go more into it, but when you do go into it, it does make sense. When you see like planes or these high flying aircrafts, they ride by, right? But they leave a trail behind them. As you saw, it said one does what's it say? One is they say contrails, and the other is yes, so it's one is contrails that they leave relatively quickly. They don't stay around long. But the other is like it leaves a long cloud behind it. But you go more into that, okay? And this is the what the elites, this is what they do. For like I said, like it says, weather modification, human, because it messes up. It messes up the earth too. When it rains, it messes up the trees. Okay, but I'll get into this. It says the UK has officially launched. I don't got a lot of time. The UK has officially launched a geoengineering program under the under the acronym. All right, Satan, stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation. Okay, and why did they name it Satan? They could have named it any other thing, but they named it Satan for a specific reason, because they're the children of Satan. All right, the so-called white man, the Edomites, they're the children of Satan. They're not actual children, but spiritually, right? It says while the mainstream media continues gaslighting the public, pretending chemtrails are a tinfoil conspiracy, British researchers have been quietly releasing sulfur dioxide 15 miles above our heads under a project literally named Satan. You can't make this up. They do it here in America as well. You know, when you go out, it may be clear blue skies when we go out in the morning and through the afternoon, but when it gets to like the evening, they start, you know, flying by. You start seeing these the cloud, the sky get a little dark. Okay, it says this isn't a conspiracy theory anymore; it's a conspiracy fact. This is a government-sanctioned weather manipulation, and this is not, you know, no type of medical information, anything. We're just going into the news, right? It says this is government-sanctioned weather manipulation sold to the public as climate intervention. It says using the same compound, sulfur dioxide, that's been linked to acid rain, respiratory damage, and environmental collapse. And I'm not going to read the whole article, but I will read, you know, most of it. It says that's the spin anyway. The official story is that this will cool the planet, quote, by reflecting the sunlight back into space, just like a volcanic eruption. But the reality is far darker. We're talking about direct experimental modification of Earth's atmosphere with untested long-term effects, without public consent, oversight, or ethical guardrails. According to details obtained by MIT Technology Review, it says a high-altitude balloon equipped with a payload of sulfur dioxide, right, was launched from southeast England. Was launched from southeast England. It says the device burst at altitude, releasing the chemical into the stratosphere. Right? It says the researchers, and give me 1 second. It says the researchers behind the program are calling it a proof of concept. But make no mistake, this is the thin edge of the wedge. Today it's a test, tomorrow it's the global deployment. And it's being done in secret. No public hearings, no referendums, no debate, just a group of unelected technocrats playing God, okay, with the weather and naming their project after Satan. Think that's a coincidence? And look, you got a picture right here. This is what you call chemtrails. All right, you go more into this. Okay, I don't got a lot of time, but I'm just getting to the scriptures. All right, because these are the they named it after Satan because they're the children of Satan. They're the Edomites. Okay, let's get Revelation 12 and 9. All right. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse. I'm gonna start at 7. Right, this is the war in heaven. All right, when the times come, when Yahushua returns, there's gonna be a war in heaven between Yahushua and the angels, and the armies of the earth. Right? It says, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Who's the dragon? The dragon, all right, is the Roman Empire, okay, which are the Edomites today, right? And fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. What are the dragon and his angels? His the satellites, the aircrafts, okay, AI. All right, these are his angels. You know, it says, and prevail not. Neither was there place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. All right, they were completely annihilated. They were destroyed. All right, let's get this word, Satan. And this is the old serpent that was in a garden, right, which was a man. It wasn't an actual snake. All right, real quick, let me show you that, so you won't think I'm telling a lie. You're lying, right? The fall of man, right? It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. You get that word serpent. Now it does say, all right, it says the Hebrew word is nachash. All right, nachash. Now it says serpent, snake. Okay, image, fling, serpent, right? But you go to the root word, all right, nachash, it says to practice divination. Excuse me. It's a divine, observe signs, learn by experience. All right, diligently observe, practice fortune telling. Okay, take it as an omen. Okay, so this is what an actual person, because animals can't do enchantments. They can't do spells and do divine intervention. So this was an actual person in the garden that had the spirit of Satan on him. All right. So going back, which today is Esau Edom. So going back, it says the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. How did they deceive the whole world? Okay, went out and pushed out, their philosophies, which is in the Bible calls it wine. They went out to the whole world deceiving the everybody. Okay, get this word. Matter of fact, let's get serpent. Let's go about all of them. Matter of fact, forget it. Let's look about all of them. Serpent in the Greek is ophis. It says snake, serpent. All right. With the ancients, the serpent was an emblem of cunning and wisdom. The serpent who deceived Eve was regarded by the Jews as the devil. Okay. Down Strong's definition is a snake figuratively as a type of sly cunning. Look at this. An artful, malicious person. Okay, especially Satan's serpent. So it's an artful, malicious person, which is who today? Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, that's how they went out and deceived the whole earth, because they're an artful, malicious people. Get a Shalakia. So we're gonna get most of it. Can get. Let's see what the word devil says. Devil, diabolos, or diabolos. I'm probably saying it wrong. It says prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Who do they accuse day and night? Which it says it in this chapter. Okay, or was it 11? It may be 11th chapter, but they accuse their brethren day and night. Who was their brethren? The Israelites. They accuse us day and night. But they're the ones who bring the drugs in the communities, the guns, the poison, right? It says a metaphor applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. So this is talking about Esau, man. All right, and they are Satan. Okay, let's see Revelation 20. I saw that one. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is called Salaki, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. This is when they went up into those mountains. All right. It says, and they cast him to the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. And how is he loose a little season? Well, he's loose right now. All right, the devil, Esau Edom, is loose right now. He's in his little season, which came back during the Renaissance era. Okay, Renaissance means rebirth, right? Let's go to Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, Edom, okay, Esau, right, saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord power of hosts. Salaki, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever. So they shall build. And how do they do that? They came back through the Renaissance era. Okay, and they set up that Greco-Roman, all right, way again. That they came back and set up, these, went out to see the people, because they ruled. It started with the Greeks, with Alexander the Great, then it went to, what's his name? Antiochus Epiphanes, I think the fourth. You had Alexander the Great's 4 generals, okay, Cassander, Ptolemy, Seleucus, and Lysimachus or Macus, I can't say his name. He had another general. His name was Antigonus. So it started with the Greeks. Then it went to the Romans. Okay, that's when the Western Roman Empire fell. But they came back through the Renaissance, and you see that today. Okay. So now let's get we got that. Let's get Revelation 2. 2 Thessalonians 2. Okay. 2. I'm gonna start at 8. It says, and then I'm gonna read 3 and then I'm gonna jump down. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man is sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And we just read in that article that they want to play God, man, by what? Controlling the weather, controlling the weather and doing, controlling the people, right? Putting a micro C-hip in you to track and trace you, right? That's what, because the Most High, he knows everything, on the right hand side, he controls everything. That's what they want. They want control. They want to control, the masses. It says, I'm gonna jump down to verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. You get this word Satan. I don't think we looked it up yet. This word Satan, okay, Satanas.
Strong's G 4567. Satanas. Thayer's Lexicon.
Satanas. All right.
Satan.
Adversary. Satan means
Satan.
adversary, right? Salaki. So yeah, Satan means adversary, right? It says, I'm jump down to definition B. It says what? A Satan-like man. Okay, the accuser, i.e., the devil. Okay. So this is talking about Esau, Edom, man. That's that Satan-like man that rules the earth. Because it's not the Arabs, it's not the Chinese, it's not the Africans, it's not Japheth who's in rulership right now. It's Esau. They control everything on this earth. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, who covered the face of the judges thereof. Right. I'm sorry, roughly paraphrasing it. Right. So this is the people. This is Satan that's on the earth. The physical counterpart of Satan, the devil. All right. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. They got the power to do things. They got the power to to try to block out the sun. The Lord gave them a certain amount of power they can do to go up into the heavens. Go and get in their rockets and shoot up to the heavens, man. But it can go so far. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So this is Satan, man. That's why they named it Satan, because this is the children of Satan, on the earth, man, doing wickedness, messing up the earth. The earth is in mourning right now because of these people. Okay, trying to block out the sun, trying to control the weather, right? It was brothers believe, if you remember that hurricane in 2005, Hurricane Katrina that hit New Orleans. Brothers believe they got these devils. They have the HARP system. They can manipulate the weather, man, so they can bring make natural disasters. This is all the Lord on the left hand side. Can't forget that. This is Yahweh Shem Shah on the left hand side. So we can't give them too much credit. But the Lord did allow them to have a certain amount of power. Okay. So let's get this last one to show you, right? Because this is why they want to do it. This is their goal, to root out the children of Israel, to not get us. They don't want us to have our blessing. They're trying to get that blessing back. That Esau sold, right? This is the new covenant. This is a new covenant, right? I'll read a little bit of it. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh. That's his name. Okay, the Lord's name is Yahweh in all caps. The son's name is Yahweh Shai. It says that I will show the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. It shall come to pass that, like as I had watched over them, to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, right? So will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yahweh. Right? I'm going to jump down, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I'll make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, right, which is ancient Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. right? But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people, right? This is the new covenant. This is when, we're going to be righteous. We're not going to go off anymore. Okay, we're going to rule the earth. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquity and will remember their sin no more. Thus saith Yahweh, right, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars by a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name, Yahweh. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall cease from being a nation before me forever. This is why they want to do that. They want to block out the sun. They want to, I'm going to keep reading. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth, Salakia, and the earth searched out beneath, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, right? I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. This is why Esau wants to, search out the earth. They want to go into the seas. They want to go into the heavens. They're trying to search out, the foundations of the earth. How can the heavens be measured, man? Because they want Israel to be cast off, and they get that blessing, but they can't. It's impossible for them to do it. You see, so this is their goal. This is why they're doing things like this. They want to block out the sun. Let me try to find that if I can, real quick. Seen it a couple days ago. Let me see. Should be. Yeah, look at that. Gates of hell set to profit millions from UK's decision to block the sun via chemtrails. See that? You go read this. I'll put the link in the description. All right? Because I gotta get back. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to you, brothers. All right, and you sisters out there. Okay? We'll give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and citation to those for elect. Esau will not, all right, they will not win. The victory is written for us, for the elect, Lord willingly of that number. Okay, so they can try all they want, but in the end, they're going to lose. And the elect will win of the nation of Israel. And ultimately, the nation of Israel will win in the end. So, Lord's will is edifying. Till next video, Lord willing, we're going to say